we have now. Ms. Watson, you have a presentation to make, I think, to the church. But before you do that, I want to make a little presentation to you please come up. It's not much, but there's something I would like to give to you. You told me that you told me on the phone that you may not be back to Coalfield after this trip.
I'm too old.
No, you're not too old. You're too busy.
Oh.
But I took today's bulletin and put it on cardstock so you can have it to keep.
Thank you.
Today's bulletin is a
Thank you.
picture of the old church.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought you might like something else too. I made you an 8 by 10. 8 by 10 of the old church.
Oh, yes. My daddy did.
And that is yours. And I'm sure that you want to remember a little bit of view of the new church.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
This is the new church, and then you talk about going over the hills. Well, there's the hills with the church sitting in the valley.
Oh, great. Oh, thank you so much.
Now, I thought about putting these in the frame.
Thank you. Thank
But
you.
if I put them in a frame, it would be trouble taking them back in the plane, so I just
Thank
left them
you so
here.
much.
You're so welcome. This is from the church.
Oh, my. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I was learning what heaven is going to be like. When I think back of 85 years, when we started coming over the mountain, it's a 4-mile trip over, 4-mile trip back. My parents and I. We started meeting down in May McCart's house over there, Pastor Upner Falls, here at Pleasant Grove Church. And then, about 19, must have been about 1931, we had our first baptism. And there were 3 members that came in by baptism and 2 by profession of faith. And we started our little church. And we needed a place to worship. And does anybody here, I mean, I'm so old, does anybody here remember the old camp? You, oh! Well, you know that this church, where we are right now, was on the road to the old camp. And when we got here, when we hiked this far, over the mountain and back Valley Road. Anybody know Back Valley Road? And then we got this far, we were almost to the old commissary. And then we'd go in the old commissary, and it was dusty. Try corners there. And we'd take a rag, wipe the dust off. It was cold. We started a fire. And then my mother would go out to the camp, and she'd gather the kids there. Lois, Cecil, Merle, Junior, Polk, Juanita, Lois, Juanita, you know them, don't you? And we'd meet together. Hard wooden benches, not like these wonderful pews. It was a lot of work, but it was wonderful. And I look at this today, beautiful church, you beautiful people sitting here, carrying on the faith, keeping the tradition. Folks, I think this is what heaven is going to be like. All the hard walks, all the hard work, all the hard trials will be worth it. When we see Eddie Dwayne, Lee and Ellen, all these people that we have known and loved down through the years. Folks, over. I just can't get over so many people here today that have come because of Cindy. You all know we're here for Cindy's burial. I see the Carrolls here. Cindy used to go biking, long biking trips with the Carrolls. I see Lee and Ellen here. Ellen sent a lot of beautiful promises to Cindy when she was on her deathbed. We read those over and over and over and over again, and I have some copies of those I'd like to give you today. And I see Dwayne, Patty, Carrie. The last time we hiked over Walden's Ridge, Cindy was with us, and Dwayne and Patty and Terry were with us. It's about 20 years ago. I see Eddie and Susan. I can't get over it. And they're dear boys. I used to love all singing. Folks, I'm sorry. I just can't help it. I just want to thank you for this beautiful church, for being here and carrying the faith, carrying on the tradition, keeping the faith. And I have a couple things today I'd like to get with you, because I know that at 92 years old, I'm not going to be around another 20 years, and that's plain. So I have some things I want to give to you, and you folks can do with them whatever you want. But I have, okay, would you bring them out? I have some things to give you out on the table out there. This is a book that I wrote. Some of you may have it already. And this tells about the beginning of the Coldfield Church, first baptism starting the church. And I have a big pile of them out there in the hall, and you're welcome to take as many as you want, free, giving to you free. Then I have something else here. It's old, beaten up, because it's almost 100 years old. And this is what my father used to play on in the Des Moines Symphony Orchestra, where he was the concert master. When we moved over here to Penn Valley, and we came and started coming over here to church, he used to carry the violin with him on Sabbath, because of course we had nothing like the beautiful music you have today. And that would be our music for church. And so I want you to have this old violin. You can do whatever you want to with it. Amen. That he used to carry, play here in our church. So it's yours. You can put it in the cupboard or whatever you want to do with it. But it's yours. Now I have one other thing. This was more recent. We had come back from Thailand. We were living in Knoxville. And this was 1977. And you folks were building a little school, trying to build a little school, raising money. And my mother gave money she could. And then she told me one day, she said, I want you to send this book down to Coldfield, this blanket. It was an old wool blanket. And she said, I want you to let them sell it at the church school. I said, but Mama, I don't want you to do that. That's the last wedding present you had. And she said, no. She said, I want to give my wedding present for Coldfield Church. And they could sell it for $5 or something and help the church. So I said, okay. So I said, the first thing I did, I cut out a little corner for me to keep. Then I said it. Well, sometime later, I don't know how long it was, 6 months or whatever. The whole delegation from the Coalfield Church came to our house in Knoxville. I want him to see it some more. I'm not finished. And they brought this quilt. Now, the lining of this quilt is her woolen blanket that was her last wedding present. And this is what they had done, you see. They had put different people's names, and some of them their contribution, most of them they don't have their contribution. But all these are names that probably most of you will know. And I don't know how much money was raised because they didn't all put their name, but there are several of them, there's $1,000. So I'm sure